Welcome viewers, today you are in for a treat because in this episode we are going to try a Michelin Star Restaurant in Bangkok. Hello everyone, we are at the Marriott Hotel in Bangkok and we are going to the restaurant called Man Ho. It's a 1 Michelin Star restaurant and we're gonna have some amazing food here today. The interior looks really sleek and dark, really preps you up for what's coming next. And this Man Ho restaurant, it's a Chinese restaurant, so it typically serves Chinese cuisine, but we are here for the dim sum and some of its special side dishes.
So we have 4 main course in total, and then we have 4 dim sum for now. 2 serving of the sumai sesame ball with creamy egg yolk, steamed chong fun rice flour noodle with crispy shrimp, whole suckling pig, creamy prawn with wasabi and walnut, homemade tofu braised with shimeji mushroom, rice noodle fried with roasted pork belly and fried fish.
Whoa, ho, ho, the first dish has arrived. It's the signature suckling pig. It's so crispy. You're supposed to eat the crispy skin with the bun first, and then they'll take the meat out and prepare it as a separate dish. We have ordered the meat to be cooked in an XO sauce. So let's tuck in first and eat the skin with the bun. This looks freaking amazing. We've got the bun with the crispy skin and some pickled carrots, and I think it's radish. Man, it looks sick. Very pickly, but very savory and crispy. So good. I'll let you hear the crunch of this. So crunchy. Oh, it doesn't really taste of anything if you don't add the seasoning, because it's just roasted fat. I guess you really have to eat it with the seasoning. Now for the sumai. This looks amazing. The sumai is topped with some crab roll, so it looks very glistening. First impression, the prawn above is so bouncy. It's like a layer of pork and then prawn and then the crab roll, but the prawn is so fresh and so bouncy. The pork adds a bit of denseness to it, and the crab roll just gives it a final lift of that richness, but the skin is so thin so it doesn't overpower any of the taste. Now you might know this as the regular chong fan in the normal dim sum shops, but this one is green. I don't know why it's green. Maybe it's got a bit of spinach inside, but the prawn inside, it's wrapped with this crispy batter, so it gives that extra crunchiness to it. So there's like a dynamic layer of prawns, crispy panko, and then the green depth of the spinach, and then also we've got the spring onions and the soy sauce, so it's like a next level chong fan. It's got a bit of sesame seed inside as well, so it's really crispy. The skin is a bit thicker than usual, but I don't really mind it. Alright, now to finish up the dim sum, we're gonna end it with a sesame ball with salted egg inside. In Singapore, it's usually served with soft bun and then you've got the salted egg inside, but this one is deep fried and then coated with the sesame seed. I mean, did you just see that explode? It's just packed full of salted egg. Usually they're like given sparingly, but this one is just filled to the brim, so when Queenie poked it in, it just exploded out. It's a bit like mochi in the middle. So there's 3 layers to it. The top layer is the sesame seed and the crispy fried bit. Then as you go to the middle, it's like mochi. It's very soft and glutinous, very nice. And then when you go into the watery and creamy salted egg, so rich, so savory, so good. Our first 2 main courses have arrived. The first dish, it's a tofu, mushroom and asparagus, and the second dish, it's a creamy prawn topped with wasabi and walnut, and 3 of it is on some sort of betel leaf or mint leaf, and the other 3 is in this kind of stone cast pot with some fried lotus on top. So we're gonna give it a go, but let's try the tofu first because I love tofu. So I think it's fried egg tofu, because it's not pure tofu. It's got a bit of like eggy flavor to it, and then it's topped with the fried seaweed or nori, so it gives it a sort of umami flavor. So, and then you've got the sauce, which is a bit of soy sauce-ish and savouriness, so it adds a lot of umami to the tofu. The tofu is sort of like the complementary rice that absorbs all the flavour. It's really good. I really like this dish. I'm going to try the wasabi and fried prawn. Very creamy, but I don't think the wasabi is the real wasabi because it's too green. But it's not overpowering. It's just the right amount of wasabi. I think it has mayo in it as well because it's sweet and creamy and a bit dense. But the prawn is very fresh. The fried shell gives it a very nice crunch to it. This is a creamy prawn with walnut and I think some mint leaf. So crunchy, so good. So that is what happens to the pork after you finish the skin. They have recooked it in some XO sauce and presented it as our second main dish. I thought there's not a lot of meat left, but there's actually a decent amount of meat on the bone, like huge chunks of it. And the XO sauce give it a very nice sweet and savoury flavour. Because previously when we were eating the skin, it still has quite a bit of a very strong gamey flavour. And our final main course is a thick rice noodle served with a separate gravy that consists of fish and pork, crispy pork belly. I mean, it just looks so good. It looks so amazing. In Singapore, we just call it hor fun, but here it's like taken to a next level. I don't know how it tastes, but we'll just give it a go now. It doesn't have a lot of wok hei, but it's extremely bouncy. It's a different kind of rice noodle. The texture is more similar to the sweet potato noodles from Korea. So it's super bouncy. Inside the gravy you have fish, you also have crispy pork belly, some shredded chicken. It's a white fish, fried and then dipped into this gravy. But the gravy has a bit of 5-spice powder and then got the typical Chinese soy sauce and oyster sauce and a bit of Shaoxing wine. Tastes very homey. That's not shredded chicken, that is fried tofu skin. But I don't think it goes well with this gravy. I think fried tofu skin goes better with a soup. Actually, the sauce reminds me a bit of kway chap at home. We are done with dinner, and to be honest, all the dishes are pretty amazing, except, sadly, the pork. The pork has really got a very strong gaminess. Even after they fry it and stick it in the XO sauce, it's still very strong. And let me tell you, I've eaten pork all my life, but when I say it's gamey, it's really gamey. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend that, but everything else, yep, so good. Well, that's it viewers. Thanks for joining us today. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and stay so thirsty.